day. Day by day. We get better and better. We get better and better. So we can't beat beat. We can't beat beat. Woo, beat. Let's go.
It's game time. It's game time. Colors painted on. Watch the star up the show.
Let's go, baby.
It's game time. It's game time. I don't know about your squad, but it ain't 1-8 with mine. Put your knuckles up. Get in the game. Better watch where you step back in your lane. It's game time. It's game time. It's game time. It's game time. It's game time.
The band is out, and we are ready for girls varsity volleyball. It's the section championship of 4-3A. The North St. Paul Polars versus the Roseville Raiders. The winner goes to state. Johnny Kane here with good old Jerry Otto Jr. Jerry, you know about Roseville. I'll get to North St. Paul in a moment. What do the Polars have to expect here?
Well, the Raiders are very tough defensively. They have a great freshman setter in Bree Maloney. They have an excellent libero and sophomore Haley Koth. They have a very talented front line, especially with Monica Burich, Sarah Hain, and Greta Toon, one of the lone seniors on this year's team. As you'll see there on the screen, the starters are the ones starred on the left. And Koth is one of the better liberos in the state, so she really keeps Roseville in the game defensively. And this should be a great matchup, Johnny, when you look at North St. Paul beat Roseville back on August 29th, 3-1. And then in the rematch on September 28th in the Blaine tournament, Roseville beat the Polars 2-0. There you see Talia Jaskulski. And in seeing her in action against Stillwater on Tuesday, she was extremely impressive for the Polars.
There you go. There was the two games you were talking about, Jerry. And, you know, North St. Paul had an excellent season. It's still going. Both teams are still going, and the hope is there. And actually, I can't come in with a prediction with great conviction tonight because I really don't know what's going to happen.
Sure.
And that's good for everybody watching.
No doubt.
On Location TV 19 Sports. Now we're at Washington, which is the old Arlington High School. And it's a pretty big gym. We've got, looks like the Roseville band. There you see the North St. Paul Polars roster. And, you know, you got to watch out for Holly Dacone as well. And don't forget about Ellie Brax.
She had a great game against Stillwater also. That was the section semifinal. And North St. Paul beat Stillwater in 3 straight, but it was not easy. The second game was 30-28. As there you see the brackets. Matamida pulled a mild upset in the first round, and Tartan almost knocked off Creighton and went down to 15-13 in the last matchup. And Creighton was ahead of Roseville. They won the first game 25-13, but then Roseville won 3 in a row to advance to tonight. And again, North St. Paul 21-7 on the season. They came in second in the Classic Suburban. Roseville 19-10. They won the Suburban East.
There you go. That's what's happening here. As you get set to watch a great section final, the winner will go to the state tournament. It's the Suburban East versus the Classic Suburban, and both teams are hungry for one more chance to move on. We'll be back right after this with the start of this match on Location TV 19.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
All right, both teams just kind of clapped hands as a team together before the start of this match, and we are set for basically a chance at the state tournament. Whoever wins this game goes on and can win it all in the state tournament. Johnny Kane here with Jerry Otto Jr. And obviously, just to state at the beginning, Roseville came with a much bigger crowd.
Well, again, with North St. Paul just winning in a shootout at the Metrodome, I think you're going to have a lot of students very happy and
you're talking about
to
soccer,
continue that
right?
going. Correct.
Boys soccer, just North St. Paul, we just got word 1.
Yep, they beat Eastview 5-4 in the shootout, so the final was 4-3. And would imagine we'll see some of the students show up here in the very near future.
Yes. let's hope it's a good match because these two teams had 2 matches throughout the season. Each team won, and they've been entertaining. And basically, I don't know who to predict here. I hope for a great match.
No, I think it will be, Johnny.
We are set for the first serve, first set.
That's
And
clear.
Roseville with the bump, pass, spike, too long.
Yeah, that was Burrich, and normally she tries to angle it down, but she didn't have quite the right shot there. It was a good set by Maloney, but quick 1-0 here for North. They're in the red and black, Roseville in their black and white.
Clara Krenz again serving. Set, spike. Kept alive by the Polars. Just gotten over. Kept alive by the Raiders. Spike. Bumped. Set. Big smash. Blocked at the net. This game is already looking competitive.
Yeah, great save by Koth.
Nevena Vumanovic, number 10 for the Polars, did well, but not that time. She couldn't be everywhere as the Raiders tied up.
Yeah, that was Greta Toon right down the far sideline, and a great point by both teams. And she will now be on serve, the lone senior that's in the starting lineup.
Section 4 3A section championship to go to state. Big serve there. North St. Paul really not coming with the big spiking yet. Seems to me like North St. Paul is undersized in this matchup. Roseville playing well on defense. Here comes a spike. Off the fingertips, kept alive. Nice play there by Nina Carmichael Tanaka.
And Monica Burrich, seeing the block right there, instead tapped it over and found an empty spot in the middle of the court. But evidently, they're calling either a carry or a net violation.
Well, North St. Paul got the point. The Polars in the red and black, Raiders in the black with white trim. Just put over and a nice play there. You have to like that from Monica Burrich. The junior, 6'2". She is the tallest one on the court by far.
Monica's older sister, Janae, just finished up a great career of basketball at North Dakota State. And this will be Ginger Pera on serve, the younger sister of Roseville All-Star quarterback Chuck Pera.
Smash, kept alive. That one might have gone long, but that's a Polar point there. The defender for the Raiders, Ginger Pera, the freshman. Yeah, she tried to keep that one alive for the Raiders, but she might should just let it go. There she was, Pera again, bumping, setting. Tanaka with the point.
It's always tough to determine if it's going to be in or out. The North far player figured to let it go, and it was right on the line. Nice shot by the junior, Nina.
Yes, Nina Carmichael Tanaka. That was a nice spike, though, because she wasn't even at the net. And she's not the tallest, but she, that was beautiful. Serve. Carsey Allen did it. Spike. And point by Nevena Vukmanovic.
Yeah, Vukmanovic was really impressive in the section finals last year. Roseville beat North in 3 straight games and ended up winning the consolation title at the 2012 state tournament. But North has 3 really impressive front court players: Ellie Prox, Vukmanovic, and especially Talia Jaskolski.
Serving now, Sydney Steinmaus. And the Polars on a roll here. 5-3.
That was a great serve. You could see all sorts of top spin, and it came down in a hurry and made for a real tough return.
Sydney Steinmaus. Ooh. Not what you want to see, giving points away, but Roseville will take it, and they will serve next. Bray Maloney.
She is only a freshman, but she's been on varsity for 3 years and a very, very impressive player. I know Coach Euland's happy to have her around for 3 more years.
Spike, kept alive. Nice play by Pera from Roseville. Spike. And they're going to give the point to the Polars. And another good play by Nevena Vukmanovic.
Yeah, that's a mouthful. I was having trouble with that on Tuesday.
I don't know exactly, the origin of that name, but she's pretty tan, so maybe I don't know.
Sounds European.
No clue. 6'4" Polars. The libero just taps it over. Actually, kind of a nice spot for the Polars. Oh, and look at that. The trickery again by Vukomanovic. That's your option. You either can spike or you can just lay it over, looking at the defense's anticipation.
Right, and if there's a double block set up, then more often than not, you're better just tapping it over.
There's a serve. Bumped by Ginger Para. Spike. Nice dig. Not a spike, but in. And really, it's Nevena Vukomanovic's show right now. She's number 10 for the Polars, as you can see.
And that was a great save by number 2, Holly Ellwanger, to keep that point alive for the Polars.
Maybe a lot of these players got word of the North St. Paul Boys Soccer State Championship.
Well, I actually told them, so I hope most of them got the news.
Well, they're excited.
Yeah.
Spike. And, it's just been Nevena Vukomanovic's show.
Yeah.
And the Polars celebrate.
And Roseville's going to take a timeout. Good idea by head coach Euland to try and slow things down here a little bit in game 1.
Yes, head coach of the Polars, Steve Anderson. Here we look at the replay. Vukomanovic. And her spike just got deflected by a Roseville player out of bounds. Point Polars. Johnny Kane, Jerry Otto Jr. on location TV 19. And I'm sure this is going to be shown on your station as well.
Right. We were able to tape the North St. Paul Stillwater section semifinal, so we're just kind of doing a trade-off with this game, and it turned out to be a win-win, both for CTV and for On Location Channel 19.
Absolutely. I've worked for both, and they're both good operations.
Yes, we are.
Well, North St. Paul early on here is looking good. Must get to 25 points to win the set. Best 3 out of 5 to go to the state tournament. And the Polars serve again, and that one's not good.
That's sometimes the end result of a timeout. You're trying to get a server out of their rhythm, and in that case, it paid off for Roseville.
And Carmichael Tanaka with the service. Medium type jump in the air, and she looked good on that one.
Yeah, nice attempt by Jess Kolsky, but an ace for Carmichael Tanaka, and a really nice serve.
Here she is again, Carmichael Tanaka. Just got over the net, and still alive. Just got to get it over. The Polars do. Now
Great
it's time
save
for Roseville. Boom! Back at her. Another one. Just put it over. Pushed it over. Greta Thun.
Yeah, great save on the play by Krenz to keep that alive. And again, a really good point. You're going to see excellent defense on both sides and good play at the front net. Both teams very complete.
Nina Carmichael Tanaka, another serve. And the Polars are having trouble with her. And the Roseville fans are alive and well. And there's another timeout, Jerry.
Yeah, this time it's North St. Paul. Each team gets 2 per game, so each one will have 1 remaining.
On Location TV 19 here, having a good time.
Yeah. Just real quick to go over the other sections. In Section 2, the final is Chaska and Delano, 2 of the top 5 teams in the state. That's also in Section 3, Lakeville North and Egan. They're 2 of the top 10 in the state. As here you see the replay of the serve by Carmichael Tanaka. In North St. Paul was the 1 seed, Roseville the 2. Osseo only has 1 loss all year, and they would probably end up being the number 1 seed should they make it to the state tournament out of Section 5.
Also, I did hear that Hill Murray was in a section final tonight to go to state in girls volleyball. I actually don't know who they ended up matching up against in that section final. Maybe one of our crack staff would know, but Hill Murray a good bet to maybe go on and get to that state tournament. They have a pretty solid team, Jerry.
Yeah, I was surprised that they went down from 3A to 2A, but they won the Classic Suburban and really had a super season, going undefeated in the conference.
Spike there, not up into the rafters. He's pretty high ceilings here. Spike blocked.
That was a good
Kept alive.
save by Garby.
Another one. Boy, both teams having a good point here. Oh, what did I say? Just, you can't palm
Double
it like
hit.
that.
Yep.
Basically, you got to hit it. No, like having it rest in your palm for even a second. Because a second's a long time when you're playing volleyball.
Yes, it is.
Carmichael Tanaka is going wild. Bump, set, spike. Roseville's defense has gotten good. Both teams playing. Oh, that was kind of a trick. There was another one. Nice play there by Sarah Hain. Put back over, and the Polars regain the lead. Novena Vukomanovic. She's a junior, 5'11". Up there with Holly Elwanger. Tall front line now for the Polars. Roseville just has to get this over and hope for some luck. That was actually a nice hit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bump. Uh-oh. That time it happened to the Polars.
Yep.
And Greta
Double
Toon.
hit.
Man, that judge is a little hair trigger on that, isn't he?
Yeah,
that
at
didn't
least
look too bad to me.
early. Hill Murray is playing St. Croix Lutheran tonight. Actually, it's over at Bloomington Kennedy. That's a long drive for both teams.
And serve out of bounds by the Polars, bringing the Raiders back up. 11-10. Jeff Whistler, the new Roseville. Well, I was looking at it earlier. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I think athletics director, former Matamidi athletic director, is standing next to us, and what a bomb that was there by the Polars, getting the point. Nice kill.
Yes, it was.
That Jeff Whistler, he does the tour of all the high schools in the Metro now.
Right, and of course he was the longtime athletic director at Matamidi and hockey coach at Hill Murray.
That's
Nice
when I
shot.
remember him the most. And Roseville, a nice point there. Hope you're enjoying this on Location TV 19, CTV 15. And it is Halloween night. I know a lot of people are going to watch this after Halloween, but there's a few crazy costumes in the crowd.
There's some really good ones.
Oh, and that time a little long there by the Polars on the spike. And Roseville has tied it up again, 12-12, first set here.
Greta Toon back on serve, so Roseville's gone through the rotation.
Nice serve there by Toon. Oh, but Toon couldn't get to that one. Polars back up, and going back to serve now will be Holly Elwanger, the junior, number 2. Jerry, if you were going to play volleyball in today's day and age, what position do you think you'd be listed as?
Left out.
Oh, nice serve.
Wow.
Too tough to handle for the Raiders. And Polars, even though they have been tied a few times in this first set, keep the pressure on. They keep scoring.
Yeah, you had to figure this was going to be a close game, back and forth. North winning the first matchup 3-1. Roseville winning in the Blaine tournament, as that one goes just wide.
Yeah, some strategic placement there, but out in point Raiders. Nice try though.
No, it was.
Serving for the Raiders, Ginger Para. Oh, in her own net. Have to like the name Ginger. And she's a freshman, as you talked about, has a lot of experience on the Raider team. You know, that just goes to prove if you're in 6th, 7th grade and you can play, they'll get you up to the varsity level.
Right.
Oh boy, Roseville struggling on this point. North St. Paul going to set up. Ooh, and they struggled to get it over.
Yeah,
really coming with the pain, and there's one blocked. Roseville point again. Boy, there's some big-time spiking going on up at the net over the last few points here. You know, I know there was a team from Stillwater about 3 years ago in girls volleyball that had some like 6'2" type front line. It was
Wow.
They were real good. I mean, that was some good height for high school level. Ooh, just pushed over. Nice dig.
Yeah, that was Casey Allen.
Carmichael Tanaka couldn't quite get the spike, but then it didn't matter because North St. Paul returned it long.
Casey Allen's older sister, Erica, was a 5-year goalie for Roseville and was already all-conference at Bethel.
Oh, how do you like that one? Nice little put over. I'd like to see that one on replay when we got a moment. That was sweet. Nobody expected that.
No, it was a smart move.
Serving Sydney Steinmaus. Sydney has a 1-point lead, serves it beautifully. And just a put over. Nothing special. Spike saved, but out of bounds. Another nice play by the Polars, that time coming from Ellie Prax, 5'11" senior. Ellie Prax looks like she's determined.
She had a whale of a game against Stillwater, as I believe she led the team in kills.
Well, beating Stillwater in any sport, I always think, is a badge of honor because they have one massive high school out there, don't they?
They're number 3 in the state, just behind Eden Prairie and Wayzata.
Ooh, blocked right at the net. Nevena Vukomanovic. She's looking like a heck of a player. I mean, so far I'm ultra impressed with her game.
Yeah, there you see the replay. Again, I don't think Maloney realized that Vukomanovic was there. Otherwise, I think she probably would have tried to set it up.
Uh-oh, here comes Tanaka. Wow. Wow, that one was kept alive. Put back over, diving save. Set, Carmichael Tanaka. Point! She really does well at that little mid-jump spike from, not at the net. I like it.
Well, also, she's really good at the cross-court spike. You don't see that too often, but if there's a block right in front of you, you're trying to get around it, and in that case, she was able to.
She seems like a really good player as well. Ooh! Looked like it was just a little long. Set up perfectly, though. No, it actually, did that get in?
Wow. I guess either it went off a Roseville player or it was just on the line.
From our vantage point, it's hard to tell, but North St. Paul point, just another kill there by Vukomanovic. Set. Carmichael Tanaka, that would work, but no, it was kept alive. Put back over, another little nice spot to do it. Spike, beautiful.
Yeah, that was Greta Toon, and great effort by Haley Koth, the libero. Maloney with a really nice set going backwards over her head. That's not easy to do.
19-17, Polars lead the Roseville Raiders. North St. Paul, this is a big moment in their history for girls volleyball. This is no easy section when you throw in the likes of Cretin-Durham, Hall, Eastridge, Matamidi, Roseville, South St. Paul, Stillwater, Tartan, White Bear, Lake, and Woodbury. There's no easy slouch there.
Nope.
Here comes another one. Kept alive. Nice bump there by Bray Maloney. Spike, dug, set. Oh, just not probably the best choice there, but point still going.
What a save.
Boy, there's some good defense here.
Yeah, that was Ryan Karate.
Uh-oh. Carmichael Tanaka bump. Just getting it over. You got to stay awake back there. The Polars could have kept that one going because that, I think people got lulled in to such a great point going on. I know I did.
That was Sarah Heen, the sophomore. She's been starting more often than not late in the season, and it's really paid off for Roseville.
Anybody's first set. Wow.
It was a great block by Heen, but it went out of bounds off of Roseville, so it's the point for the Polars.
And guess who's serving? Everybody's favorite so far, Nevena Vukomanovic. She's had a lot of points in this first game. I've been impressed, but look at that time. She's not. That's Wyatt.
Olivia Garby, she's a freshman, and she and Hayne both have really started to come on at the end of the season. And Haley Koth, the libero, will serve. Once in a while, she'll throw up a sky ball, a really high serve, but not this time.
Haley Koth on the serve. Ooh, that time the set was a little bit too awkward. Oh, and into the net. No good there for the Polars.
Yeah, really nice block by Toon on the far side, and we're tied at 20.
There's Kolsky, the senior, wants that one back. Tied again. Set. Spike. That one looked good. Nice play there, once again from Ellie Prax.
Yeah, nice set by Ellwanger. She's done very well here in set number 1.
This has been a great first set. I have been impressed, and here's the serve of Clara Krenz. Bumped up by Olivia Garby. Spike, Roseville. A lot of energy in this match from the crowd. You know, the North St. Paul crowd, they're not as loud as the Roseville crowd. That Roseville crowd came to play.
Well, again, there's a ton of North St. Paul kids still on their way from the Metrodome. We'll see how many actually make it here.
So far, Roseville has been really good on the defensive end, but that time, they're going to say, what are they going to say?
It was off the block.
Fingertips?
Yeah, no, it was off one of the 2 blockers for North St. Paul, so it's going to be point Roseville.
Must have been her fingertips, because
yeah.
I didn't see much of any contact off of Holly Ellwanger. Ooh, Roseville has a lead. There's the serve. Set. Big bomb by Jess Kulski. Ooh, and there's that spike again. Carmichael Tanaka. Spike by Jess Kulski. That was a big one. There's another spike at the net. North St. Paul battles back to tie it up.
Yeah, great double block there by Ellwanger and Abby Reeser, the 5'11 junior. As, again, excellent point on both ends, and we're tied once more.
Serve here by Holly Ellwanger, junior. She'll be back for more next year. Carmichael Tanaka sets. Oh, and Roseville goes back up by 1, and this first set, nobody knows.
Yeah. Ginger Perro will check in to serve as she gives Olivia Garby a breather. And North St. Paul will take timeout.
Roseville players there were excited about that timeout. Maybe they needed a breather quickly. Maybe you and I do. Well, we both do a lot of play-by-play sports, but what's one of your favorite ones to do, or maybe the favorite?
I've really gotten to enjoy volleyball. Football is always a blast. I'd certainly say hockey is my favorite, just growing up around hockey with my father being a coach, but there really isn't a sport that I don't like. It's sure been a lot of fun, Johnny. I know it has for you, too.
Well, my personal favorite is volleyball. I love doing football too, but I love doing baseball. You're right, I could say I like them all, but that's a good thing. But
right.
This volleyball is just so constant. It's big action, it's fast.
Right.
And when you have 2 good teams going against each other, it's nothing better. You know, you watch the U of M go for women's volleyball.
Oh, they've had such a great year. They've been in the top 10 in the nation and really fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great sport, and I know men could do the same type of setup and have, you know, men's volleyball. That'd be great as well. But you know what? These girls have great attitudes. They're very positive, and they really try hard. You know, I saw a lot of players the other night when I did a volleyball game. Their season was over, and they were crying. That's what's at stake here.
Yeah, they're going to say it was off a Roseville player. That looked pretty close, but it will be tied up at 23, and Jaskolski will be on serve.
Talia Jaskolski with the serve, good one. Bumped by the Limbrero. Ooh,
there it was again, the cross court.
Tanaka, they might want to take a note that she likes to do that.
Yeah.
It's the 3rd point she's had just like that, and it's all been just textbook beautifulness. I mean, she's not even at a point to really put authority on it, and she still does at an angle. Ooh, this is a big point. Here's the serve. Here's a set. Important. Dug out by Roseville. Now they're in the driver's seat. Tanaka again. No authority on that one. Kept it alive.
Nice save by Maloney.
This could be it. Boom, into her own net, double hit. Can't do that, we're tied up again.
Yep.
Ooh. First set, most people are smiling and laughing, which is good. By the, by the third or fourth set, you might not see that as much.
Yeah, I think you're right. On serve here is Steinmaus.
Nice looking serve. Ooh, oh, but it was kept alive.
My.
Super spike. Nice defense. Put over. Roseville's going to set up. Carmichael Tanaka!
Yeah, that's not easy to do going through a double block, but she found the right opening. And now Roseville can serve again for the set. And this is Bria Maloney.
This is it. Roseville could win this first set, and it would be a nice little icebreaker for them and their confidence. They have a chance. Carmichael Tanaka. She did it again. Boy, I don't know who to give an MVP to that first set, but I'm going to have to go to her.
Yeah, very impressive and great first set as Roseville squeaks by 26-24. I have a feeling we're going to be here for a while, Johnny.
Yes, this one could go the 5 sets. Well, get settled in, folks. Take a breather and come right back. On Location TV 19, CTV 15. Roseville wins the first set as they look to go to the state tournament.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams.
Here.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up.
Welcome back to On Location 19's coverage of the Section 4 3A Championship. That's, I think, for Casey Allen. She's number 20 for Roseville. As again, North St. Paul beating Eastview in a shootout 4-3. The shootout, North St. Paul scored all 5 of their goals. Very impressive as they win the state title.
Yeah, congratulations to the Polars, State titles don't come easy for the Polars. And girls softball, I know they've had a good run.
Right.
But they've never won it in boys hockey. With the Dinah and Hill Murray always winning. Bloomington Jefferson for a while. We're in the second set. And Roseville's back at it.
Yeah, Monica Burrich, also a very good basketball player and doing a nice job right away.
Roseville wins that first one, 26-24. Beautiful set there for both teams. I didn't see a lot of, just like giving away point type things.
Great effort by both teams, and figure we'll see that the rest of the way.
Here comes Jaskolski. She was blocked, or partially blocked at the net. Roseville still has a chance here. No, the Polars setting up Jaskolski. Put it in a weird spot, but Carmichael Tanaka kept it alive.
What a save.
Jaskolski again, that time. Go get it, you kids. That was a smash. 1-1.
Yeah, a lot of power on that one. As Abby Razor checking back in.
Good little jump serve there by Clara Krenz. But the return was even better, and the Raiders go back up 2-1. Section 4, 3A volleyball tournament here. Winner goes to the state. You want that. Because then I don't know how many games, as Roseville gets another point, how many games did you have to win after this one to win the state tournament?
Well, you need to win 3 matches. Roseville last year lost to Shakopee in the first round, then won 2 in a row to win the consolation title. I believe Lakeville North won the title last year, and they were very, very impressive.
Oh, and Roseville is at the moment too, as the ball comes right near our table there. Roseville on a roll here. Confidence is swelling. Serving now will be Greta Thune, 5'11" senior. One of the big outside hitters. Roseville playing defense, set up, big smash, but into her own net there once again, Monica Burrich. And she's a great player, but that time she needed to maybe not try to spike. I think she was in between what she wanted to do.
Right, they try and get her in a running spike where she's going towards the far end and then come back, but either it was a little too far away from the net or a little low.
Holly Ellwanger on that serve. And that time, Nevena Vukomanovic couldn't handle that spike. Point Raiders. And Nevena Vukomanovic was definitely making a name for herself to be the MVP of the first set, but it was stolen away by Nina Carmichael Tanaka.
Good low serve by Para.
There's Carmichael Tanaka up into the scoreboard, and it comes back down on Roseville's side.
Huh.
Point Polars.
In most gymnasiums, if it goes off a basket, they still let you play it, but I guess here if it goes off the scoreboard, it's a dead ball.
Jaskolski, nice serve, low trajectory, big spike, kept alive, nice by Ellwanger. Oh, and into her own net that time, Nevena Vukomanovic. I think North St. Paul has to get their act together right now. You do not want to go down 2 sets here. Into the game for the Polars will be Sydney Stymos, 5'4". How tall are you, Jerry?
I like to say I'm around 5'3", 5'4". When I'm wearing Timberlands, I'm maybe a little taller.
Big spike, dug, back over to North St. Paul.
Yeah, that was tuned.
Oh, and that time it worked for the Polars on the kill by Sydney Stymos just into the game and getting a point. 5'4" and doing little spikes.
And my friend John Malaya from the high school league just sent a picture here of the Polars celebrating their state title. That's pretty nice.
Yep, good for North St. Paul to get that done this year in boys soccer. It sounds like they had a lot of seniors who've been together for quite some time, and yeah. You know, Oliver twins and all their teammates, actually,
they're kind of good.
They're legendary now. No matter what happens in the rest of their life, they are.
Well, they're 1 and 2
champions.
in the state in points, 1 led in goals, 1 led in assists. It's pretty impressive.
Well, what do you know about head coach of Roseville, Greg Euland?
Greg's in, I believe, his 9th year. He's a very good tactical coach. He's got a great personality, really gets along with the players. He's also the girls track and field coach, and he's really built a great program here for Roseville.
Well, that time the serve was kind of a new approach by Letty Pfefferly, the 5'6" senior for North St. Paul. She didn't, she kind of paused and then didn't really jump and just tried to smash it with a low trajectory, but into her own net, and then Roseville will give it right back. Those are 2 quick points as the Raiders lead 7-5.
Looks like this is Ryan Crotty on serve.
Tanaka. Bump. Blast. Dug. Pass. Just passed over basically to get the point in Roseville's side of the court. North St. Paul, are they running out of steam a little bit?
Wow.
No, they're still getting points.
No, that was a great attempt.
I don't see too many attempted spikes going on by North St. Paul at the moment, though.
Yep. Well, John's also going to the Creighton Lakeville game tomorrow. That ought to be a great one. And, Roseville hosts Lakeville South.
Crotty on the serve again. Spike. Wow, what a diving save by the libero for the Polars there. Nice job by Clara Krenz. North St. Paul wants a point here in the worst way. That was libero to libero.
Yep.
Point Roseville.
That time the quick set kind of caught North St. Paul off guard, And Hayne, it wasn't very powerful, but she found the backcourt.
Well, as Roseville leads 8-6, tell people out there who might not know what the heck a libero is.
It's a defensive specialist that started out in the Olympics, then went down to college and now high school, and they can play pretty much insert for any player, and really adds to versatility for the teams.
Roseville another point, 9-6 now. Yeah, I mean I think it's a good position. It's
Right.
usually a girl who's tinier, but athletic as heck, and she can dive all over the place, and we're seeing plays made all over. A little too long there on the serve.
Yeah, Haley Kauth, one of the better liberos in the state. She played for the Northern Lights club team in the summer, and their team came in second in the country down in Florida.
Big serve there by Sydney Steinhaus. Blocked by the Polars at the net. The Raiders are setting up. And there's that move again. You have your choice. You just have to see what they're presenting. Point, Raiders. And just one final point as we look at that on the replay. One final point on the libero. If you're wondering who they might be, they don't wear the same color as their teammates.
Right.
They're kind of a little opposite with their shirt and all that.
Yep. That makes it easier for the officials to know when they're coming in because, again, they're a lot more flexible on who they can sub in for.
Jaskowski just got it in her face.
What a block, Toon, but especially Monica Burrich.
Monica Burrich a little taller. And Burrich, you know, I know Jaskowski has been a heck of a player, but tonight she's meeting her match. Here she is again. That's her, and she got it blocked again. North St. Paul scrambling to put it over. Now they can set up. Jaskowski blocked again.
What a save. That was Clara Krenz.
Ooh, and that spike looks like it goes to the Polars.
Yeah, Roseville was thinking it might have went off of a Polar defender, but evidently not the case.
Now here's the libero. She's wearing the white shirt, not the red like her teammates.
Right.
Nice serve too by Clara. Clara just bumped it. There's a set. Quick move. Good point there by Abby Reeser. Got to use your brains in this game too,
That
Jerry.
is for
I
sure.
do like that aspect of it. Big jump serve. Clara Krenz, the junior, she'll be back for more. Oh, and that time just not good enough there on the save attempt by Sydney Steinhaus.
Yeah, Olivia Garby, one of 3 freshmen that are usually part of the Roseville rotation.
Just as a reminder, the first set was won by the Roseville Raiders after North St. Paul led most of the first set. They won, Roseville won the first set 26-24. There's a weird audio sound in the middle of that point.
Yeah.
In the gym.
That was Reeser as Roseville Athletic Director Jeff Whistler trying out a new microphone as the first one didn't work.
Saboteur.
Yeah.
I don't think it affected much.
No, I don't think so either.
Here's a big spike and another point Raiders. Where they have some height.
Yeah, North had a good block set up with 8th grader Sophie Cave. And
there's a
number
ship coming
6,
into the harbor.
right, Abby Reeser. That sounds like a foghorn, but nice job on the spike.
Big serve by Ginger Para. Roseville needs this. Jaskowski didn't like the set, so she just got it over. Now she's going for a block.
Yeah.
And North St. Paul is struggling at the moment.
That running spike can be effective by Burrich, and North St. Paul will take timeout.
Hey, look at that. The
Yeah,
North
here
St.
they
Paul
come.
fans have just arrived from the soccer game.
Yeah, and again, they
There's a
did win
train
the
of
state title. I think especially where they'll need the microphone is for the post-game ceremonies. So
Yeah, a lot of Roseville fans might be wondering, what the heck is this? Are you trying to intimidate us?
I was trying to keep everybody abreast via Twitter and via the Star Tribune website what the scores were. And yeah, I'm sure the North fans have got to be very happy.
Those are North St. Paul soccer fans just coming from the Metrodome, winning a state championship for North St. Paul. And Jerry, you foretold us they will arrive.
Yeah, I figured when you consider they went through 2 overtimes and a shootout that it would be a little later, and well, it's 8:45, so still pretty good time.
You bring your friends, I bring my friends. North St. Paul just brought a lot more friends all of a sudden.
Yep.
And they're active right away. I'm not sure if they know yet, but North St. Paul is down 1 set and losing this second one. 14-10, serve, Ginger, bump, set. Jaskolski blocked at the net. Roseville point, touched the net. Tough break there for Sophie Cave. Or 15-10, and there's a big spike. Jaskolski's energized.
Yep.
She needs to get more energized because she's been blocked a lot lately.
And again, you talk about a group of fans already fired up. This should be very entertaining. It already has been for a set and a half.
Carmichael Tanaka with her little spike. Didn't work that time. And North St. Paul is getting another one. They're climbing back.
So Jaskolski again on serve as now the lead is down to 3.
15-12. And that one is going to be a North St. Paul point as it barely went out. And I have to say, I've been looking at some of the Roseville Raider fans, their facial expressions. They look over at the North St. Paul fans. They're like, they don't know about the soccer thing. They're like, what? What was this?
I think they have a pretty good idea.
You don't know youth like I know youth.
That is out, so it's going to be a point for Roseville. North St. Paul wants it off a Roseville player, but they're not going to get it.
16-13. Seen Zach Halverson just arrived. I think he was doing that soccer game.
I believe he was.
You'll see more about that on the sports recap show on Location TV 19 Sports Path coming up in the near future. And it's the 5 high schools that we cover, being Hill Murray, White Bear Lake, and North St. Paul, Tartan, Maumee. They had a pretty good fall campaign on many levels.
Right.
All 5 of those schools.
Nice save by Para.
16-13 with the spike blocked. Good play.
Yeah,
nice.
that was Reeser.
Abby Reeser. I think I saw that Hill Murray's in the state tournament for football.
It would not surprise me. I'll try and find out.
I'm pretty sure they are.
I was trying to get an update on Hill Murray's volleyball game.
Oh, into her own net, and North St. Paul getting another point. Just down 1 now as Roseville really made one great run in that first set to go on and win it. They were down most of it, but they went on a point binge, and they did in the first part of this second set, but now North St. Paul is climbing back. Big spike. Yeah. Point Raiders, nice job there.
Yeah, it was a good block set up by Steinmos and Prox, but it went out off the block, so it is Point Raiders.
Yori Given. Oh no, excuse me, that we'll get back to that. I'm not sure who that, 22 there, Sarah Hain. That good job for the Raiders. Now the Polars back at it. There's more emotion all of a sudden, don't you think so?
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, 200 more high school kids. Prox with a nice spike as Hain was trying to set up the block. Also, it helps that we've got a public address mic working.
Wow, lucky there for the Polars. Got to keep your wits, but that time she couldn't do it all. Ryan Crotty couldn't make the big play, and Roseville on top again by 2.
Carmichael Tanaka on serve as Olivia Garby checking in.
Carmichael Tanaka, too long. She says, that's my fault, no problem. She was the MVP of that first set. So far, I don't have an MVP of this one.
No, I wouldn't either.
Yet to be determined in the second set. And making a name for herself, Sydney Steinmaus wants to maybe take that role.
Yep. Yeah, Hill Murray travels to South St. Paul, and that's David versus Goliath. South St. Paul is one of the best teams in Class 4A. If Hill Murray were to win, that would be quite the upset. As we're tied at 18.
18-18. Second set. Johnny Kane here with Jerry Otto Jr. North St. Paul student section swelled about 10 to 15 minutes ago. They are loud and proud. The Roseville fans are here. The band for Roseville is here. I always like it when the band shows up. There's even some good Halloween outfits. It is Halloween here. Although most of you will be watching after Halloween, it's this is one that you want to keep tuned to.
No doubt about it.
18-18. So far, it's been really close, both games we've seen here. Just going over some notable Polar victories throughout the season. I'd have to say that they took care of their own conference pretty well.
Yeah, they were 9-2. Only losses were to Hill Murray, I believe.
Yeah, but they beat Chanhassen and Eden Prairie. Those are notable victories.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Those are 2 very high-powered wins.
And now Roseville goes back up by a point. On the serve will be Haley Cowith.
It's kind of a knuckleball serve.
Ooh, nice job of reacting there by the Raiders. Looks like another Raider point.
No, they're going to say it's out. I thought it might have gone off a North St. Paul frontline player, but that's not the case, so we're tied up again.
19 all. Served by Krenz. Blocked at the net. Set. Spike! Kept alive. Just put back over by North St. Paul's libero. Krenz. Spike again. And that time off the palms of Steinmaus. Couldn't handle it. Big shots coming her way, though, and now Raiders in control.
And Coach Hewland intentionally set up a killer schedule to start off with. Roseville started off 0-4, but then has played really well since then.
Jaskowski got it over. Now she's looking for a block. Oh, and maybe 13 there. Sydney Steinmaus should have had it, but her own teammate, looks like Ryan Crotty, took the bad angle and tried to save it. You gotta love the heart, but Roseville loves the point.
And North St. Paul will take timeout.
Timeout here at good old Washington Technology Magnet School, formerly known as Arlington High School from the St. Paul City Conference.
Yep. They've got a really nice banner display of the current and former high schools in St. Paul. My dad actually went to one of the former ones, the Murray Pilots. He graduated back in '61.
Well, where'd you graduate from, Jerry?
I was 1990 from Roseville.
Ah.
And unfortunately, you're at now a defunct high school.
Yeah. But, you do a lot of play-by-play for Roseville Sports, Moundsville Sports. Did you ever see Concordia Academy volleyball?
Yes, back in the 90s, they were phenomenal, and they're still very good. They lost to Hill Murray in the semifinals, but still had a very good year.
Yep, we did that game the other night. It's Roseville's chance to move ahead. Jaskowski with the spike got saved. Here's another spike. And boy, the Roseville Raiders have gone on a roll when they needed it most, near clinching time of this second set. There's more costumes in the house. I now see the Joker over there for Roseville.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
From Batman. Boy, Jaskowski can't buy a break. That was a nice spike. Got saved. Woo!
Yeah, it was a nice try.
Saving that one by Abby Reeser.
That's not very bright. Someone dropped their cell phone.
Ooh, hate dropping cell phones. Holly Ellwanger. Holly's 5'11" junior. Nice serve. There's the shot over by Greta Toon from Roseville. Jaskowski gets the job done. Jaskowski's older sister, Sophie Jaskowski, played a lot of years at North St. Paul. Just recently, too. She graduated a little while ago, but she played a lot of sports and was good as well. Carmichael Tanaka doing her authoritative spike. Roseville kind of scrambling. Here's a set play. Spike saved. Roseville's going to try set up again. Spike blocked, kept alive though by Roseville. There's another spike and a kill. Nice job there by Olivia Garby.
Again, that's one of those really big points. Otherwise, it could have been a tie game. Now Roseville up 2 and on serve. But again, this has just been a super match, Johnny. It's certainly what I think pretty much everybody expected.
Ginger Pear on the serve. Dug by Jaskowski. Set, just pushed over. Not much authority there by Sophie Cave. Dug nicely by Ellwanger. Here comes Jaskowski. What's the call?
No, it is long. It did not go off the block, so it's going to be game point here for Roseville.
With the chance is Ginger Para. Boy, would she like an ace. Not this time. Set. Got to get it over.
It's out.
They're going to say it's barely out. And Roseville wins the second set. Boy, that was weird. We're going to go to Zach Halverson in just a moment.
Gee, I think, Zach, you might be a happy man considering North St. Paul just won the state soccer championship.
That experience over at the Metrodome, and you guys are state champions.
It was awesome. The boys played great, and we deserve it.
Who you have a favorite player on the team, or you like them all?
The backup tendy.
Well, yeah, a lot of excitement in North St. Paul. They're state champions in soccer. You can hear it. They're happy. We're happy. Congratulations. Back to you, Johnny.
We've had two exciting sets here as Roseville's won both. We have a large crowd. North St. Paul season is now definitely hinging in the balance of Roseville just getting one more set win. And Roseville will be on to the state tournament again. They went last year, Jerry, but you say they came up short.
Well, again, when I looked at the top three teams especially, I figured Roseville had a shot against Shakopee but lost, but then won the next two, and it ended up being a 28-6 season. So I think Roseville was very happy to win the consolation title.
I want to thank Zach Halverson for that interview on the court. Looking at some Roseville notable victories. Well, they didn't start the season too well, actually. They started 0-4.
No, and again, that was on purpose. Hopkins, a great team. Osseo, probably #1 in the state. I'm just saying not to lose 4 in a row, but to play the toughest competition you can, to kind of get ready for a very good conference. Because as you see, after those 4 losses, Roseville ended up winning 19 of the last 25. And the only losses were to a very good Blaine, a very good Buffalo, and then Totino and Moorhead was a little surprising, but then another loss to the Osseo Orioles. And again, Osseo 27-1. They're #1 in the state right now.
Yeah, you know, I'd have to say maybe a signature win this year for Roseville would have been their win over North St. Paul on September 28th.
Well, that's one of them, and also they got to the finals in the very impressive Blaine tournament. and lost to Blaine in 3 games in the championship. Otherwise, beating Rosemount early, that was kind of a game that helped turn around the season. And then also beating Moorhead up north. The Spuds are in the Section 8 finals.
Good information, Jerry Otto Jr. This is the Section 4 3A volleyball section final. Winner goes to the state tournament, and so far Roseville is up 2 games to none by the Polars. North St. Paul Polars had one heck of a season, and their head coach Steve Anderson doesn't want it to end now. Well, 3rd set coming up. If you're a Polar fan, you want to see about another hour of On Location TV 19 footage,
Right.
because that means they'd be coming back and trying to win it all. But if you're a Roseville fan, you wouldn't mind just seeing a set victory here and going on down and see him play in the state tournament next week.
The Roseville fans going, let's play football.
Greg Euland. Greg Euland, I don't know what that
That's
looked like.
pretty
He was a
good.
little tense there.
Well, he's got his Mr. Rogers look with the button-up sweater, and it's been good luck for him. So
North St. Paul will serve in the 3rd set. Clara Kranz. Kranz goes way long. Why would you target Carmichael Tanaka in the first place?
well, again, that's just a little over-exuberance, trying to really put a bunch into it and hitting it just long.
Served by Greta Toon. Jaskolski just gets it over. Not much authority on that one. Setting Roseville up for that point. 2-0, and the Raiders are feeling good.
Yeah, Garby again with a nice cross-court spike. As Garby, the freshman, Hain, the sophomore, doing a really nice job, and they've steadily gotten better as the year has gone along.
Toon on the serve again. Really trying to set up big number 6, Abby Reeser. And a Polar point there. What do you say happened there?
They're going to call over the top of the net, would be my guess.
It went like this.
Yeah.
Not sure what that means, except for slap the dog on the head, I guess, when he's bad and trying to steal your food.
I'm going to check out Johnny Kane's hand.
I don't know all the umpire signals as well as I should have for volleyball, but I just know that one team celebrates harder than the other.
Yeah.
Nice job on defense by the Polars, and a point. That was Jaskolski. Talia Jaskolski.
I was kind of
Outside
hoping
hitting.
they would have the referee signals. Sometimes they do, but that's all right. 2-2 tie here early on in the 3rd.
Holly Elwanger. Oh, nice play there. Nice attempt by Bray Maloney. Back to Toon. Set up front, blocked by the Polars. Another set, looking to block. Too long!
Yeah, heads up play there.
Nice try by Olivia Garby there, but just a little bit too much power. And we told you earlier that Olivia Garby is just a freshman. She looks good out there.
Mm-hmm.
Jaskolski got it over, but defended. Carmichael Tanaka put it at a Polar, and the Polar did her job. Set, spike, dug. Set, spike. Point Roseville, Olivia Garby again.
One thing I was just going to mention, Johnny, North St. Paul is starting to notice when they see Burrich running at the net, they're setting someone up in the backcourt, usually a little bit away from the block, and they've been able to stop that running spike that was so effective early on.
Ooh, wow. Gonna give the point to the Raiders there. It looked like the player touched the net. Looked like Monica Burrich. Can't do that, but I guess a Polar did it first. Jaskolski, man there, defending her spikes well. Nice job of keeping it alive by Para. Carmichael Tanaka causing havoc. Nice bump there by Haley Kaut. Nice spike, and the Raiders We've already won the first 2 sets. They only need one more here to go to state. They're feeling good. Confidence is high for the Raiders as we have Ginger Para. Doesn't really jump at all, does a standard serve, and that time it came back at her and she wasn't ready.
Yeah, great elevation by Razor. When you can get that kind of angle really down towards the court, it's really tough to stop.
Talia Jaskowski brought it back to Para. And Para couldn't handle it. Her teammates didn't know where to go. Carmichael Tanaka was the closest to it. Nina wasn't quite there. And Nina Carmichael Tanaka will be back next year.
Yeah, she's had a whale of a season, especially over the last month.
She's just a junior. She looks like a pro. And another great play, and the Raiders and Bray Maloney are feeling really good as they really are just staying ahead of the Polars here, and that's what they need to do.
Yeah, both games were very close. The first one 2 points, the second one 4 points, and I'm sure this one will be as well.
Casey Allen on the serve for the Raiders. Jump serve, directional. That one probably would have gone out of bounds. Polars kept it alive, pushed over, bumped by Toon. Big spike.
Oh my.
Almost took the head off of a Polar. Elwanger. Spike. Blocked, but got over. Set. Carmichael Tanaka. Saved. Put back over. Good point here. Still going. This one has to be from Jaskulski. That one would have gone out of bounds, but it stayed alive by Ginger.
I don't know. Para
Boy,
probably
look at
made the
this
right
point.
idea.
Into the net. Carmichael Tanaka was like, I don't know. That was one of those things where the set came from over the back of her shoulders. That isn't very easy.
Now, the biggest save in that point was Sophie Cave in the backcourt as she kept that alive when it sure looked like it was going to be Roseville's point. And we were tied up once more.
Players at the net for the Polars giving out the defense of the Raiders with numbers. Here's Carmichael Tanaka. Went into the right side again, but it was saved. Put back over. Bump. Here's a set. Carmichael Tanaka just barely got it over. And that time it was bad luck for the Polars as they probably could have defended that, but
well, it was a good try by Prox and Sophie Cave. They were there for the block, but it just went off both of them, and nobody else from North was able to get there in time.
Well, the North players weren't quite sure if it was going to be a super spike or not, but it was just kind of a half-hearted little spike and took everybody off guard. Big spike.
Oh.
And point by Greta Toon.
Yeah, great block by Sarah Hain and a big spike by the captain senior Toon.
You know, Greta Toon there is no joke. Every time I'm watching her, she loves the right side of the court. And she's got some power. Just put over nicely, kept alive, but point Polars, Sophie Cave. And she's an 8th grader.
She's already 5'9". I think she's going to be a good player for the next 4+ years for the Polars.
8-7 Roseville. I like to see the enthusiasm of the crowds, though. Almost seems like a European soccer type of a crowd. Ooh, blocked at the net. Good try there by the Raiders, but to no avail. Greta Toon had it blocked.
Prox and especially Elwanger doing a nice job there.
Hey, we're tied up again. 3rd set. Roseville won the first 2. They need to win one more. North St. Paul fighting for their life now. Just barely got that one over from Prax. Tyskolski. Ooh, looking for a sneaky play.
Yeah, nice save by Koth.
Now it's going to be back in the Polars' favor. Spike. Point! That was a really beautiful spike there. That was just right, barely in, but where no one could get to it.
Yeah, very good placement in the backcourt.
Ironically, both of these high schools reside on the same side of Highway 36. For an interesting non-fact. Or actually a fact that just doesn't matter all that much.
Yeah. Well, and I was trying to figure out which school district 622 was, and that's the North St. Paul district because Roseville 623 and Mounds View is 621. Tartan also in 622.
Point Raiders there, Carmichael Tanaka. Yeah, I used to go to Little Canada Elementary School, and the slogan back then was, well, actually I think it was, I went to John Glenn. I was in both school districts, but we love you in 622 used to be our buttons we wear.
Sure.
Carmichael Tanaka, it clipped the net barely. Put back over, nice save there by Haley Kaut of the Raiders. Now it's time for the Polars to get this one over. Uh-oh.
That was a great block by Toon that set up that point for Roseville. Doing a nice job at the net.
We are standing just below the concession stand here, and that popcorn smells so good.
It's intoxicating.
I'm tired of that smell right now. It's so good. We're in a great match. Hope you have your popcorn at home. Oh,
just
that
in. Wow.
Sometimes in volleyball, you make a judgment call. You think it might be out, but it wasn't. And I think making a claim for MVP of tonight would be Nina Carmichael Tanaka, the one serving.
Yeah, you said that in the first set, and right now I'd agree with you, Johnny.
Trzaskowski bumps. He's set, blocked at the net. I'd have to say North St. Paul's getting blocked a lot. Spike, kept alive, nice save. Trzaskowski, saved by Carmichael Tanaka. Way high in the air, barely got over. Now the Polars' turn. Polar point. Greta Toon couldn't quite block it. Back onto North St. Paul's side of the court. Landed at her own feet. Point Polars, and this has been a really good back and forth third set, right, Jerry?
Oh, it sure has. And on serve here again is Steinmaus. Wow. Each team letting a serve go, and it ended up costing them.
Sydney Steinmaus. She's serving. Right in front of her is Ryan Crotty, number 8. There's a serve. Doug. Put back over. You got to keep your head clear in this game. And Polars taking a lead again.
Yeah, Steinmaus doing a good job on serve, getting North St. Paul the lead. There's a little princess or a dancer.
Here's the spike. Long!
Yeah, that's a case where I think Garby was anticipating the block, so you hit it with a little more authority, and North St. Paul decided not to block it, so it goes long.
Sydney Steinmaus doing well at the serve. Right back at Steinmaus. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Too many hits by the Polars.
That was almost
interesting,
a
though.
miraculous save.
Nice save by Ryan Crotty for the Polars initially. Looking for Ellie Prax to step up and do some damage for the Polars as they lead the Polars by 1 point here in the third set. There she's Prax. Carmichael Tanaka's dangerous from anywhere. Point Polars!
Yeah, it wasn't with much authority, but it went between the block, and Tuden couldn't get enough of it. So North St. Paul up by 2. As Abby Reeser checks in for the front court.
Here's the jump serve by Clara Krenz. Big spike.
Wow.
What a authoritative move there, and a great play by Bray Maloney. What do you know about her?
Well, she's been phenomenal now in her 3rd season on varsity, and she's one of the best setters in the state. Also a very good server, just a great all-around volleyball player.
Another point for the Raiders, tied up again. So what you have to say is that Roseville's here to stay for a few more years in the power rankings in volleyball.
Well, again, Roseville had a lot of seniors last year, including the twin sisters, Megan and Melissa Coop. We'll get to that here in a minute.
Set play there, blocked at the net by the Raiders. Big number 10, she's a force, Monica Burrich. Put back over. Not one to spike it, Garby. And the Raiders take the lead again.
Yeah, big block there by Garby and Burrich. And the Coop sisters playing for St. Ben's. They graduated 5 really good players from last year's team, but returned Toon and a lot of good underclassmen. And you're right, Johnny. I think Roseville's going to be in good shape for a while.
Carmichael Tanaka saved that one, but back at her teammates, and North St. Paul ties it up.
Yeah, that was Elwanger and Reeser again doing a nice job on the combination block. And the other big thing, Johnny, is you're trying to keep the volleyball players away from playing club team during the season, and the more you can do that, the better the high school teams are going to be.
Elwanger on the serve. Burrich just basically dunks it. The North St. Paul players thought she had a little bit too much palm.
Right.
And you know what? There was a case for that, from my vantage point. Point Raiders. I'd have to say Monica Burrich has been a real big factor too. Service into the net there by Ginger Para. Point Polars. Tied again.
Well, in a lot of sports, you ride the hot hand, and tonight for Roseville, it's been Toon, and especially Carmichael Tanaka. So Burrich, also a very good fronker player in her own right, hasn't done quite as much.
Carmichael Tanaka, you know what? She's amazing. She plays hard.
Yep, no doubt about it.
Number 9 there for the Raiders. She's been, we'll put it this way, she can be on my volleyball team anytime.
Right.
We'll have a ringer. She's good. Oh, wow.
Right
Judgment call there by the Polars, Sydney Steinhaus, and that time it didn't work in her favor.
Yeah, Casey Allen very happy as North St. Paul will take timeout.
Well, timeout here by the Polars, and I would have to say that the Polars have to do it. They have to pull it out, coming out of this timeout and win this set. Yep. Because if not, we're done.
Yep.
I mean, that's it. The broadcast will be over besides, some final wrap-ups. I expected this one to go 5 sets.
Well, again, both of the first 2 sets were very close. The first one could have gone either way. Roseville winning with an extra point, 26-24. Roseville with a little bit more of an edge in set 2, 25-21. And again, this one a nail-biter. It comes down to those last few points, and an extra play, a little mistake can end up costing you the set. But again, both teams giving it their all.
I just thought of something, if you're like a suspended student from going to see banned from seeing your high school sporting events, happens to some students, who maybe commit acts at football games like fighting or drinking or anything like that. But tonight's your night. You can probably get in here with a Halloween costume and you can finally see your team play.
Yeah, never thought of that.
Obscure thought by John Kane. Back to the action. Roseville up by 2. Just dumped over there by Hain. Big spike. Dug out by Toon.
What a save by Maloney.
Maloney almost went into the crowd. And the Polars get a point. Actually, more into the scorer's table.
Yeah.
PA table.
Coach Hewland wanted over the net, but again, hasn't been called yet tonight, except for the one time. So it is now 18-17 Raiders, and North St. Paul to serve as a couple substitutions. Koth checks back in.
1 point lead here by the Roseville Raiders in the black with white trim.
Letty Pfefferly on serve for the first time tonight.
Carmichael Tanaka digs. Block at the net. Roseville scrambling.
What a save.
Put back over by Toon. Over her shoulder. Boom!
No, I didn't think that went off anybody. It was close, and it's going to be Roseville's point. I don't know if we'll get a chance to see a replay here, but that looked like it went directly off the North St. Paul player. I think that was Cave. All right, here we go. Yeah, it was the back set for Cave. It sure looked like it was a straight shot, but again, that's so tough to tell.
Well, Roseville players were stunned, but they have to get right back into the mental focus because they're down by 2 and time is running out for them. Toon! Oh! Wow. Bray Maloney, actually. Toon has been outstanding tonight. Bray Maloney, I must say, you know, 9th grade, she's looking polished as a veteran. Ooh, gift point there to the Raiders.
Yeah,
and
right into the net.
Pollers cannot afford any points given away now.
And North St. Paul is going to take their second timeout. I think my best costume, I went as a future Vikings offensive coordinator. I had the headset and the belt loop and a little play card, and that's when Mr. Childress was struggling a little bit. What do you think your best costume was?
Well, don't you remember a few years ago, last time we did a Halloween game together for your TV station, I was like a priest.
Yeah, that was outstanding.
Remember?
You had the robe. And
yeah, I had a big brown robe and the regalia and all that. Yep, that was a good time.
Yeah, that was very good.
Boy, I'd have to say Roseville is feeling good right now. Up 4 points. They need 4 to go on to the state tournament. Just 4 points here. And honestly, to be honest with you, in my opinion, North St. Paul has a good, solid squad.
Oh, no doubt.
But it just seems like Roseville is clicking on all those cylinders we always talk about.
Yeah, and again, that's why I think Coach Hewlin set that killer early non-conference schedule to get your team prepared for games like this.
Served there by Maloney. Jaskolski had it taken out by Ginger Para. Point Polars. Desperately needed there. Serving will be Ryan Crotty for the Polars. Needs to go on a roll.
Yep. North St. Paul also with a very young team. Each team only with 3 seniors.
Ooh, Ginger Para set it in the back row. She had to just put it over after the pass to her. They go back at Para and point Polars. Nice job by Ellie Prax.
Yeah, again, Ellie had a monster game against Stillwater. Hasn't been quite as effective tonight, but still an excellent player. One of the senior captains for North St. Paul.
Down by 2 now are the Polars. Serving Crotty. Ginger Para got it up. There's a mid-court spike by Toon. Back to Carmichael Tanaka. She goes back to her position. Here comes Toon. Well, actually, that's once again, they both have 1s in their outfits. Sometimes it's hard to tell, but Bray Maloney.
Again, that takes a lot of practice to be able to do that backward set over your head, and especially to get it on target, and Toon put it away.
Well, Nina Carmichael Tanaka could, you know, if she just gets 3 more points, can end this. Set, put back over, and the point there. Holly Elwanger did kind of like a topsy-turvy spinner move when she hit it at the player.
Yeah, Koth tried to get a piece of it, and she did, but just not enough. That was a good spike as Steinmaus will serve.
Boy, the excitement's still there for the Polars. They desperately need to win this one now. Good serve. Tough to handle. Carmichael Tanaka, though, put on the pressure. Spike by Jaskolski, back in her face, and her magic isn't working.
That was Sarah Hain and Toon with a double block and a big one, as now Roseville 2 points away from the match.
Jaskolski has got blocked about 8 to 10 times, it seems, and she's a great spiker, but these great Roseville players with their height are really playing her well. And that time blocked at the net was Prax.
Yeah, great block by Burrich. Tried to get a quick
Another
spike.
block. Oh, and a point Jaskolski that time because she went at the libero,
right.
Haley Kaut. And not at the tall girls of Roseville in the front row.
Well, she realized you're better off angling away from the block, and she did. And a smart move. by the senior Jaskolski.
Down by 2 is North. Need every point now. Pretty nice serve there. Big spike blocked at the net. North St. Paul keeps it alive. Kouth kept it alive for the Raiders. North St. Paul needs this one, and they get it! Abby Reeser. Boy, it tightened up again here.
Yep. And now Roseville will take.
Roseville,
timeout.
you think that was a good timeout?
Sure, again, you're trying to stop North St. Paul's momentum. If North St. Paul wins this point, you're all tied up. Either team needs 2 to win the set. So you're hoping here for a side out, and then you have a chance at match point. But again, Johnny, I forgot how much fun announcing with you was. This has been a real treat for me.
Yeah, let's hope we go another set here.
Yep.
At least.
Yeah, again, angling away from the block. Burrich was right there. She's one of Roseville's best blockers. And a nice job by the North front court.
Monica Burrich said, you know, I tried there, but that one was some steamy spike. Yep. There's the joker. People always say, you know, Halloween should be a child's holiday, and I know some older adults don't like that. Like, 30 to 40-year-olds love Halloween so much and dressing up themselves. Yeah. Well, I think it is a half and half holiday. Sure. Why not? 22-23. North St. Paul wants another point badly. Here it comes. Jaskolski in her face, but kept alive somehow.
What a save. Great block at the net.
I think that was Clara Krenz, but not that time.
Monica Burrich, what a point that was, and now Roseville can serve for the match, and this is Greta Toon.
This next serve, if it goes to Roseville.
Yeah, again, Burrich doing the smart move, angling away from the double block and just getting it in.
Serve by Toon. North St. Paul scrambling. Jaskolski gets the point. They're not done. All right, it falls into Holly Elwanger's hands. Most important serve of her career. She got it over. Here's a set, big spike. Roseville wins! Roseville says, North St. Paul, you had a good day in sports with your boys soccer winning the state championship, but that's as far as it goes because we're heading to the state championship. Congratulations to the Roseville Raiders in a well-played 3-game victory. And that last game might have been the best of them all right there.
Yeah, certainly. Again, Roseville winning 26-24, 25-21. As you see there on the screen, 25-23. As the Roseville superfans celebrate with the team here. And again, Roseville really has finished out the year so strongly, winning 20 of their last 26. And this schedule that Roseville played at the start and then in the Suburban East really paid off as Roseville won the Suburban East Conference and will advance to the state tournament for the second year in a row.
Well, the Section 4 3A girls volleyball tournament champion from this section is the Roseville Raiders, and they had to beat some quality teams to do what they did tonight, including maybe the best of the ones they played, of course, North St. Paul Polars, who had an outstanding season.
No doubt. Again, this is the second year in a row that Roseville has beaten North in 3 straight sets in the championship, so it's got to be bittersweet for North. A great season, and unfortunately for the Polars, the Raiders knocked them out of the playoffs again.
Well, Jerry, I enjoyed doing this game with you. To head coach Steve Anderson of North St. Paul, your girls have nothing to worry about. They played an exciting match and had a great, wonderful season. They'll be back next year with more. And the Roseville Raiders and head coach Greg Euland will be celebrating tonight and heading off to try to win the whole thing. And you know what? They might have a chance.
Well, again, last year Roseville was the number 5 seed. I don't think Roseville will get seeded this time around, but certainly the way the Raiders are playing, they'll have a shot against no matter who they're up against.
All right, Johnny Kane, Jerry Otto Jr., proud to bring you this, along with Zach Halverson, who had an interview during the game and did some soccer earlier. He's had a busy day. Thanks to everybody in the truck and all the camera crew. Thanks to Arlen Becker and everybody at CTV 15 and also On Location TV 19. We are very happy to have brought you this great section final, Section 4, 3A volleyball, and the champion is the Roseville Raiders.